Yazol.
Hello and welcome to the Hot Kitchen of Yazol Podcast. We are the three amigos, your story chefs on duty, cooking you some of the hottest stories from out there, Sot Sukun. And now, straight out of Vancouver, Canada, the big man, Zolkebir on the wheels of steel. Please welcome DJ Bakumba.
Yeah, hi guys, DJ Bakumba in the house. Yeah, of course, like, subscribe and share. Tell a friend. Yazol, welcome.
Yeah, okay. And from Edmonton, his friends call him Le Japonais, music teacher and master guitarist. Please welcome Dennis Lissa.
Hi everybody, thank you all.
Okay, and I am your chef on the grill, Dedi Seyi, Sultan of Small London, Zolkebir Musoran Sele. So welcome. Coming up today on Yazol Podcast, the highlights. From South Sudan. South Sudanese youth fight on the streets of Nakuru, Kenya. Why were some bright star players missing from the squad that played Uganda and Kampala? 6 drug traffickers arrested at Juba International Airport. Travelers attacked and robbed on the Juba-Yei Road. From the African continent, an evil stepmother drives a nail into her stepson's skull. Longest bridge launched in Tanzania. A woman seeks court's protection to protect her against excessive demands for intimacy from her husband in Zimbabwe. All these stories coming up on Yazol Podcast, Sot Sukun, the hottest stories from out there.
Yazol.
So for our first story, let's go straight to Kenya, where a street fight has broken out between South Sudanese youth in the town of Nakuru, and several were injured and sparked outrage on social media from the host citizens. The violent clash, of course, using sticks and crude weapons, prompted some Kenyans to call for deportation of the South Sudanese youth. The incident, which erupted due to unclear reasons, caused alarm among the residents and drew sharp criticism online. Of course, Nakuru has been a home for many South Sudanese refugees who left the conflict in their home country, and it has been a bastion of peaceful coexistence for a long time. And so this brawl has unsettled the South Sudanese community in the town. In your opinion, Dennis, do you think the Cairo, Toronto have actually crossed the border now from South Sudan into Kenya? Because last time we were talking about the issues that were popping up because of the violence in Bor and then in Juba. And now these guys are walking around trying to beat themselves and kill themselves in Kenya.
It is the same kind of a phenomenon.
Okay.
If we look at the South Sudanese community around the world, their problem is all the same. In Australia, in Egypt, and now in Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. They have the same story, they have the same kind of. So maybe our question should be, what prompts those youth to join gang? Or what are causing them to come up with this kind of a grouping, inter-gang kind of a fight? As all of you are aware, like it has been 2 years ago, there has been a big fight in Australia. And even Australian immigration authority decide to stop Sudanese from immigrating to Australia, based because they are involved in a lot of gang activity, and they are causing a lot of kind of a lawlessness, kind of havoc in the society. So maybe us as a South Sudanese people, we should ask ourselves a very serious question. What is causing this? Is there anything that we should do? Is there anything that we should, the way we should educate our youth? But in my opinion, there is something that is causing all those things, like either it is because of unemployment, because why would people join gang? Gang is always motivated by hopelessness. You have no future, you have no role model that you look up to, and those things motivate you, because people join gang because they're trying to find themselves, and sometimes finding themselves could be in a gang, somebody that can recognize you. But I am glad also on the other side, this is the light on the on the other side of the tunnel, with the emerging basketball team now, like a lot of South Sudanese youth is finding kind of some role model, somebody that they can look up to, someone that they can emulate to become. So those are the good things. But going back to gang issue, مشاكل الجنوبيين في محل is all the same. Yeah, if you can trace them.
Yeah, last time I was having a conversation with my friend in Australia. He's one of the clergy and elders in the community there, Dr. Ajak Dwanyi. Ajak, who understands the problem in Australia, for example. There seems to be a big gap between the parents and the children, because most of those who are involved in this violence, they're shabab, young guys who are either into drugs or whatever, and there are little issues between them. Diamond end up with pangas and sticks and all that. Bakumba, you saw the story on Nakuru, right? We all know Nakuru as a very peaceful place, of course, except during the Kenyan election violence. That's when issues were there. But it's a very beautiful, serene kind of town just by the lake. And there's a lot of tourism. So it would surprise me why these guys would be chasing each other, trying to kill themselves using sticks on the streets of a country that has welcomed you. What did you think of that?
I think that's most of those youth, like this Dennis put it, it's lack of employment, nothing to do. They wake up, especially in Kenya. Most of those youth say that they are not working at all. Maybe there are no jobs there that refugees can do. Leave alone Nakuru, even in Nairobi, youth cannot find a job. So most of those guys are sitting there. Maybe they have their brothers, cousin, uncle somewhere in the diaspora who can send them a few dollars here and there just to survive. And the whole day they're just sitting there. Mother Amolo Haja is doing a lot of nothing. So the only thing they have is because Muken Abugar Mafi to do economic activity. Any small thing, whether can Zol Wunuzuma Binia Tatani, Zunabu Mukin, they could fight over anything. Can Binia, can Zol City Mukebila do, can anything for them because they have nothing to do. It will trigger, a lot of animosity. And the one positive thing is they're fighting among themselves. Lokani Mundugu Zolta, Lokani Mundugu na Sekenya na Zoro Muke, it will be a different story. So they are dealing with it. They are dealing with themselves. So I hope that they can deal with their own problem. Again, the issue is that the youth are just sitting there, nothing to do. Yeah, that is the biggest problem. So an idle mind, obviously, the
devil workshop,
the white man says the devil workshop. The devil is busy hammering. So so they need to So I don't know.
Some of the Lost Boys did a lot of investment in Nakuru,
right,
building estates and all that. So positive stuff. And then these guys, instead of that, they now tarnishing the name of the community.
That's right. There are a lot of they put a lot of real estate. A lot of the Lost Boys that have invested in Nakuru itself, and Nakuru relative to Nairobi is still a little bit affordable. So a lot of people actually invested there. You go to in the city of Eldoret, a lot of South Sudanese in nice neighborhood. A lot of investments over there. So so I hope they will find a solution. They find a solution as soon as everybody become busy. Some of these problems can be eliminated just by being busy.
Deportation to Budi County, can it work?
I don't even think Kenya has the capacity to deport all those guys to South Sudan.
Okay.
These guys will bring a lot of revenue. If let's say Kenya is to get rid of all the refugees in Nakuru alone, they will be affected economically because all those investments. They're renting. There's a lot of people that are renting those houses, both in Nairobi, Nakuru, and Nakuru, Eldoret. They'll be affected. So economically, I don't think economists Zakayo want to do that to raise another problem.
and Junubin are known for not negotiating prices in East Africa. You say 1,000, they pay you 1,000 right away. So everybody wants them around. Yeah, but really, those guys should take it easy amongst themselves. They are all brothers and sisters, right? There's no point. You fight at home, you fight abroad, you fight everywhere. It's not right.
Yeah.
There should be some semblance of peace amongst us.
Yazol.
Travelers who were traveling from Yei, and that includes one journalist, were attacked on the Yei Juba Road, somewhere around Loka. A journalist called Bosco Bush, who works for the #1 daily Citizen daily newspaper in Juba, shared his harrowing experience. So he had visited family in Yei, and then, of course, left Yei for Juba, coming back to work. Then an incident happened in the forested area of Mankaro, which is in Loka Boma of Lanya County in central Equatoria. That's about 20 miles from Yei. Some armed men appeared from the bush and stopped them in the car at gunpoint. And they told them to raise up their hands and then march them into the bush. Of course, stripped them of everything, left them in their, in the inner wear. Quite unfortunate to be subjected to such humiliating and devastating circumstances. So fortunately, they didn't kill anybody. So when they were let go, of course, this journalist ran, and then he was able to get a border, and then he made it to Lanya, where they alerted the authorities, and then some forces were sent to Loka. But of course, by then, the guys who stopped them have already disappeared into thin air.
Yazol.
I guess this is another symptom of the economic situation in the country, right? It seems really these guys are just robbers and bandits because of economic issues, now subjecting citizens to such difficult situations. Dennis, your take?
You have said it right, Didi. If you follow the trend, like in the last 3-4 months, it has been the same thing happening. We heard about Juba Numli Road. It was the same thing, and then now Juba Yei Road is the same thing. And those kind of a crime are not politically motivated. They are just purely crime. And purely business. And in they are not about anything political reform. So if you look deep into those things, it is just economic pressure on people. Economic pressure on people. People are trying to survive with what kind of a means that they can get so that they can survive. Now the onus is on our government. We have seen the trend. The trend now is rising, and if nothing is done about it, and then it will kind of escalate to more crime happening. And if it continues, then it results into more insecurity. People cannot bring goods and service, and then the economic pressure again will will be kind of a pressure cooker. So it is very, very dangerous for us. The other thing that I want to talk about is the enemy syndrome. Like my SPLA Raja Pigaba, I don't think something has been done about those people to bring them to normal citizen. Like, you have been fighting in the bush for the longest time. You are trained that there is an enemy, the enemy you have to shoot, you have to kill. And if you are not being kind of trained to become kind of a normal citizen, you still have that kind of enemy syndrome in you. You will still want to attack people, you want to kill people. Those things are still there. And if I think it is veteran affairs to deal with that, or there is a unit in the military normally that they deal with that, trying to kind of rehabilitate the whole combat to bring them into just a normal citizen. Otherwise, without money, those enemy syndrome will just come back again, and then they want to loot, they want to kill, and stuff like that. So those are the things that we should, the authority should look into.
PTSD is a big problem, especially in the military, right? We saw the stories of the Americans after Vietnam.
Yes.
Going and even here in Canada, the guys who went to Iraq, who went to Afghanistan, same stories. It takes a lot of counseling and whatnot to get them back online, back into civilian life. Otherwise, taburaseli mzolze de tawali. Kof. Eta der katolan eta talevano le shino.
Yes.
Leta janjawit.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you compare with the other neighbors, man, that's
Yeah.
Junubin that everybody seems to be angry about something.
Yeah.
Or a young guy, people seem to be mad about something. So that is. So I don't know whether we're all suffered with PTSD. I'm not so sure. They can't seem to be very angry nation.
Yazol.
From Uganda, Kampala, where the Bright Stars were playing Uganda, and several players were missing. Of course, it was a very critical match, and even the head coach showed up late. So this is where politics seems to come in again. A very perennial problem in most African football circles. Bakumba, we saw the video of the guy complaining about whatever happens with the politics that's now affecting the players, right? You want to give us more on that?
Yeah. So after the one nil loss to Uganda,
Yes.
I was busy online trying to find out because one loss. I said, oh, this is actually very close. It's very close. So I actually, because I didn't watch the game online, I decided to actually watch some good thing. Somebody actually posted it on YouTube, so I was able to watch most of the game. And then later on, I also bumped into that comedian. That guy is actually a comedian.
Yazol.
He's actually a comedian online. And then his comment was one that captured my mind. That apparently the team, there's no unity in the team. So what the federation does, the federation invite those the foreign players, the players that South Sudanese players who are playing outside the country in different clubs. When they're invited to join the national team, they are hosted in hotels in Juba, nice hotels. They're sleeping well, and then the local guys, they obviously they're sleeping at home. They don't even have transport money. They don't know. Those guys are not catered for. There's no food. You don't know whether they're eating at home or whatever they're doing. And then you guys are supposed to train with the same guys. These guys who are sleeping in a hotel. Anna can strike or Anna can midfielder or striker. They jump in Canada. You know, he's sleeping in a hotel in Radisson Hotel. Why I came under Master Bushai. Do you think I'm going to pass the ball to that guy? Really? So that is there is a big problem from the federation all the way down. So that guy has really made a point that it's high time that we either this federation need to be disbanded or something. Imagine, despite all those problems, they actually consider only one goal. So which means South Sudan actually we have the brighter future, as the name says. With the proper organization, we can actually take over football. For the first time, I actually noticed we used to talk in this channel that we can talk over. I didn't actually know that we can actually do take over. Despite all these guys play, maybe some of them even no transport money. Somebody jump on somebody's border just to get there. They still only conceded one goal. So I really want to congratulate the Bright Stars, and for the federation, come on guys. If they can take example of Gorle and the basketball, I think they can learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you saw what South Africa did to Congo, right?
Yeah.
We were able to hold South Africa in Juba, but they went and really blasted Congo into the Stone Age.
Exactly.
Exactly. You know?
Congo was sent to the grave.
Yeah. So basically, South Africa and Uganda in the Group K now are 7 points. So the federation really needs to think long term and think national, because it cannot be those personal stories again and again. You remember the very first coach we had. There's a whole documentary on the, was he a Bosnian or an Eastern European guy who took us somewhere during the first time when we became independent. And the guy was really facing a lot of hardship from the political side of the federation. So same story, and it's like an African problem. I hope these guys realize girl politics ruins it. Football is actually good business. There's a lot of money. Lolden has shown us with a little bit of organization, the country can really reap a lot.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yazol.
There's another part that I wanted to add in terms of the CAF tournament. You know, I was during my readings around. I was surprised that actually, according to Juba National Stadium, is certified to, according to CAF, to be able to play those games. Do you know that Kenya cannot do their games at home?
Yeah,
Kenya,
the whole country.
Kenya and Cameroon are playing in Kampala because Kenya, despite Kenyan development, these guys don't even have stadium that are to CAF standard. So that's another thing. That's South Sudan, Juba, whoever the government for building for really renovating Juba National Stadium to be in that standard. That's what just wanted to add to that.
I think actually the Ministry of Sports should think of like building another bigger arena.
Exactly.
Maybe outside somewhere on the Yei Kajikeji Road or somewhere, outside the city. Because I feel like the Juba capacity is too small and the space is really constricted. You can't expand it.
Yeah.
Yazol.
So 6 foreigners, Kosovo, have been arrested at Juba International Airport, gisat mukadarat, blue elephant. so they were arrested by the CID in possession of some illicit drugs. According to the deputy spokesperson of the police, Major Leith Wilson Simon, she said the arrested men were nationals of Kosovo, of course, an Eastern European country. And the suspects have been taken into custody and they'll face the full face of the law, which is the Penal Code, Article 383. Investigations are underway. They are considered innocent until proven guilty. So, Gisata Mukadarat Day is getting apparent, right? Because last time we were talking about Mukadarat in Bor, and then we can now see the elements of the foreign hand in it. Because can finance Minbara, al Bagder Gobudufi Airport, kida, that means there's somebody smuggling drugs into the country or through the country. What's your take, Dennis?
I just want to understand, if Mukadarat is being taken. So if the trafficker, like people who are taking Mukadarat, those drugs, they are they are foreigners.
Yeah.
Then the question becomes who is using those drugs? Because the local, they won't have that financial capacity to purchase those drugs, especially they are being smuggled by people who are foreigners. So I don't think normal people are going to use those kind of drugs. That means there are a lot of network involved, and those people who are using those drugs may not be a simple, just a common citizen. There may be people of high profile that are using those drugs. So I have to wait until the case is closed, because chances are, if those people who are bringing those drugs are arrested, chances maybe they may be released, because if they are bringing it for people who are high profile. So that's one thing, but it is very alarming. At the same time, seeing that drugs is getting into our country, it is very alarming, because we have a lot of problem already. And we have we are lawlessness by nature, right? So if we add the issue of drugs, we add the financial problem. So what country are we gonna have? I will say big shout out to people who arrest those criminals who are bringing drugs to our country, but it is something that need more investigation, because those drugs may not be something that are cheap. It is something that is very expensive, and if it is something very expensive, chances are Nas Kubar, Nas Al Kubar,
I'm thinking from the Toronto side, because if the normal people cannot afford it, Toronto can afford it. That's why they go out robbing ministers and stuff where there's dollar. so that they
Probably,
can afford it, right?
yeah, probably
Yeah.
يمكن ناس اسمه ده
Yeah.
people who are
Yeah.
gangs they have money. Yeah, they have money. Talking about gangs يعني عندنا في ألبرتا هنا because a lot of them end up being shot عندنا في ألبرتا هنا.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of youth that are in the drug business. Most of them they don't have a long longevity. Their life end up being cut short. And in most of the funeral that I went to, the car that they drive, the lifestyle, yeah, you wonder what money do these people have, like if they can afford this kind of a lifestyle. So
Yeah.
those people they make money, but at the same time, it is a short-lived kind of money. They're long, like their life being cut very short.
Yazol.
No, but I think most of those things I believe they are can if they're not going to Juba, I have a strong suspicion that they're on transit. These guys are probably transporting this thing to a different location because they know South Sudan is lawless.
Yeah,
So as soon as you can be able to, because the main thing is if you are as long as you can pass the airport security. So
Yeah.
if you know that Juba, Juba is not really the security is not that strict. You can transit those things through Juba airport, and then from there it can get out of the country to its destination, which could be somewhere in countries with bigger middle class, because those hard drugs are mostly used by the middle class actually, compared to the I would not say the Toronto boys that much, because you need a little bit of people who have money actually to be able to purchase those drugs. So you need a country that has a little bit of middle class. So my suspicion could be those things might have been either headed to somewhere, Kenya, Uganda, where there's a little bit of middle class, because it would be hard to pass through Mombasa or Entebbe. But probably could be easier to pass through Juba Airport. Because as soon as they're in Juba Airport, easy to go through the land, because from there nobody's
Okay,
going to
yeah,
take any car
maybe,
anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think they're on transit. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So maybe Juba is just a transit, as Bakumba
Most
said.
likely. Most
Yeah,
likely.
so it is just
That-
because it come by air to Juba, and then
Yes.
Juba may go through land to those.
Yeah,
yeah,
through land
maybe
to-
that could be another. Yeah,
Yeah, that could be
Mhm.
another way of transporting those drugs. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it really requires a lot of government input in controlling things like that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Onat kawaja munia ligo ajede somebody actually very at least ligo energy to arrest kawajate daru junubin kana ino kawaja. So
Ma,
so good.
I saw Wahid Abuna Kida.
Yeah.
He was preaching, and then he's from, I think, from Ghana. So he was preaching in South Korea, and so he was telling the congregation. He said, in the prison there in Ghana, I saw some Koreans, and then the person who was interpreting was very confused. Say, yeah, and he was very surprised that there were Koreans in
Exactly.
Ghana.
Yeah,
Ghana
yeah, the
prison.
prisons. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, the other to add also, you know, especially Kosovo. Kosovo is not a rich country, by the way. It's one of the poorest country in Eastern Europe.
in Europe. Yeah, it's been.
So nas kelema eno galeka ojer kudu everybody is rich. No, there are a lot of those countries that people some of them are more poorer than us in Equatoria. So people should take note of that.
Yeah, Figo Mai
Yeah.
Fogo.
People my Malian.
Yeah, yeah.
Yazol.
Let's go to Nigeria, where a stepmother has used a hammer to punch her through the head of her stepson. Nail straight to the head. It's a very horrific incident that has baffled many, and it also speaks to the heartlessness of this stepmother, who basically like drove a nail through the skull of this poor little boy. It's quite sad. You know, if you can't treat your own child like that, why would you want to treat another person's son like that? And then in this case, where's the father of the boy? Too many questions for me to ask. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it.
I saw the kind of a picture on Facebook. But those things normally, like, I don't want to look at them like for a very long time. It's just, like you will start having a goosebump when you are looking at those kind of photo. But the thing is, we human beings are very complicated. Like, try to understand what motivate people to do this kind of things. I think 2 years ago, South Sudan, like in Juba, we passed through the same thing. The medical student who killed
those children, right?
who killed those children, his niece, and it baffles everybody because they're blood related and they are kind of a family. What motivate a person to do kind of a crime like that? So there are people who are with us, but they're not normal people. They have a lot of some of them are psychopaths, some of them are sadists, some of them have a lot of mental issues that if they're not medical diagnosed, you won't know. Ito be Jelda talgalek mara, beautiful to be zawju. You think you are married somebody, but you're being married to a psychopath, and the vice versa. Bipolar.
Mami water.
Maybe mami water. But you can be married to somebody that you have no idea what kind of a person that you are married to until something drastic happened, and then you come to the realization that this person that I got married to is not the real person. The person that we are dating is just a representative. We haven't met the real person yet. But when you get married, so when you marry the person, then the real person will come out. So maybe it is something that we should be alert when you are dating, especially like in a second marriage. If you are a single dad, you are trying to find a potential partner. You don't look at the obvious. You try to look at some other things that you want in your potential partner. It's not the like for us, a man, it's not only beauty per se that we look out to. It is more than that. You have to go deeper. Is she kind of a person that can take care of my children, or is she kind of a person that I may trust? And the same thing goes for women too, right? We have heard the story of some stepfather sleeping with their daughter. There is a lot of issues coming up, but chances are, if you are not properly like choosing somebody that you're going to be with, you can end up with a psychopath. And you wake up one day, the person beside you is a different person. Or
Mafi Jambuku Kwen has a song, and in it he sings about his childhood story. So then he was asked, because Ogata Asida Kida, when they were eating food, Berotan galit do ngundo ba ilo linguti na derja nguti akiunda itili. So it means ita begata asida de kebirze umata ki arakabu umata ki tala menjo frenak. So basically, why are you taking so much food? Did your mother, who is dead, did she get out of the grave to cook it? So it speaks a lot about the idea of the stepmom as the evil, the evil person. You have all those Cinderella stories and all that, right? But realistically, if you don't want the guy's children, why are you with the guy?
So just want to make a little bit of a disclaimer, just to make sure we are not. So this has nothing to do with a person who is a stepmother or a stepfather. There are really people who are stepfather. They have done a really good job, and there are really good stepmothers. But it happens that it is in the nature of those people. If you don't choose properly, you can end up with somebody that is a psychopath, and they can do the unthinkable. So I just want to say a shout out to all the stepmothers there who have been doing their best. It has nothing to do with a particular, or if you're a stepmother, that means you have the potential to do something bad. No.
And of course, all the stepfathers too, because some of us grew up under stepfathers, and some of us are stepfathers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bakumba, your take.
No, for me it was just very horrific when I saw that. I actually saw that picture. Initially, I thought it was one of those jokes when I brushed through it, and then I had to go back and look at it, and it was very horrific. And I think it's really uncalled for. I just for people like that to just like to take a nail and a hammer or a piece of something to hammer into a child's head. That is premeditated, uncalled for, and I hope she just get locked up somewhere for a long time. Those are people we don't want. We don't want them. You don't want them to be even your neighbor. Yeah.
Yazol.
Let's go to this Burna Boy story. So apparently, there's a guy in Nigeria called Speed Darlington.
Right.
And he released a video a couple of days ago connecting Burna Boy to the PDD story. It seems Burna Boy wasn't happy about it, so the guy ended up in jail. And then Speed Darlington's mom went down on her knees begging for her son to be released. So Burna Boy said, "Okay, I will release you." And this is what he wrote. "Seeing your mom on her knees begging me to release you got me emotional. I cherish all the moms out there. For over 20 years of life, I have worked hard, dropping classics and getting zero attention. Many told me to give up and chase a better career. Many made mockery of me and said music wasn't my thing. Today, after so many years of putting in work, I'm a successful artist, and one unfortunate dude somewhere on the internet saying abominable things about my career simply because he has a mouth. If not for your mama, you would have stayed in jail for the exact number of years I stayed underground as an artist. So go home now to mommy and sin no more." That is Burna Boy to Speed Darlington. Bakumba, go ahead.
I saw that Speed Darlington video actually. I saw it when he was making. I saw it before his arrest. So I saw this video. This guy making fun of Burna Boy about the baby oil and everything. You know the story of Burna Boy attending PDD's house and all these stories going online. There are still conspiracy. There's no truth behind it, but these things are going online like crazy. So this comedian just make fun of it, and actually initially nobody knew he was arrested. The family actually reported him as he disappeared. So there was obviously a connection with that story. So people started pointing fingers at Burna Boy, that Burna Boy has orchestrated the disappearance of this guy. So then later on, obviously they figured out the guy was actually arrested by the police. So these stories are there, man. And if you're a famous and a public figure, I don't know how this is gonna end. But these stuff are not going anywhere. Man. As long as and there's more accusation against PDD every day there's new things coming up. So I don't know how Burna Boy is going to survive, but he will have to figure it out. But I think arresting all those critics and those conspiracy theories are going to solve anything. I think they're actually going to amplify the story even more. So let's see and wait and see. But
well, the problem is, although there may be no credible evidence supporting the assertion, this guy is very vocal online. So to malign somebody without credible evidence is really, is crazy. It's like the other foul story in Nigeria also with Bobrisky. That's another big one in Nigeria going on. But for me, it's like every time they arrest these celebrities in Lagos, somehow they disappear. They are not under radar, and then they show up in Abuja.
They show up. I don't know how.
It was the same with there's a guy called Charlie Boy. Same thing. He disappears in Lagos, shows up in Abuja. You don't know. Blue House Tomon Bokun for Abuja.
Abuja is the capital, right? So but it's a long distance. So those guys must be spending a lot of money putting these guys in a plane to fly them into Abuja.
You never know. Maybe he drove in a boot. Yeah.
Yazol.
For Burna Boy, he's somebody that has worked very hard for his career and coming to where he is at right now. But being a public figure or being an artist at that magnitude, you need to choose your own battle because a lot of people want to bring you down. We have seen people like Michael Jackson. Accusation was leveled against him, and he has to work hard to kind of get himself out of those problems. And maybe those kind of accusations maybe are things that led to his early death. So for Burna Boy to kind of teach this person a lesson, I think that's good. In my opinion, that I think that's good for him to make sure that he's not a pushover. If somebody is trying to mess up with his career, he's able to stand up for himself and then kind of get him out of his line. Because for artists, it is easy to fall.
Yeah.
Because if you have gone up, people can come up with a lot of things and then mess you up, and before you realize it, you are not going anywhere. And we have seen a lot of people. Not that all the things that are being accused, that like people accuse them of, are not true, but most of artists, they just lost their career. Now you have seen R. Kelly, he lost his career, and now Dedi is in accusation is in progress. We don't know what is going to happen. And those people
Bill
are
Cosby, all those
Bill
guys.
Cosby and those people, and definitely they're going to lose their career.
Yeah.
So for us as African, if people like Burna Boy is to come down, it is a big loss for us in the music industry. For like Burna Boy, his music has penetrated deep, like in the North America. Like if you go to any gym, you go to any big arena, you find that it is Afrobeats being played.
Yeah.
So those artists are very intelligent. They have managed to bring Africa to North America.
Yeah.
So I think those are our assets. Those are people that we need to make sure that they're being protected and nothing bad against them go through. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know somebody like 50 Cent said he spent about 40 million on lawyers protecting himself all these years, right? So so every time you're in the limelight, it's always that shiny fruit up there that everybody wants to bring down. So you have to protect yourself. So it's a lesson for all of them, including Diamond. I know there's a lot of trolling going on online about Diamond too. So,
Yeah. As in the Diamond Nasawin, as in women are the one. Sorry,
No.
respect for women.
No, gisa PDD de kamanu mon connect the fogo.
They were connected by diamond that. So they have few problems.
Yeah.
Ana gazdi and if Modo Diamond, the Modo child support wajat.
No, that day Adi, that day is the African problem. That's not a problem.
The PDD problem.
Yeah. No, that day people never see it as a problem. Mushkil at the PDD, they are mashakil. Yeah. And
Yazol.
Tanzania has finished constructing one of the longest bridges on Lake Victoria in Eastern Africa, 3.2 kilometers long. It used to take about 2 hours to circumnavigate that route. Now it takes people only 4 minutes, from 2 hours to 4 minutes. Quite exceptional, right? It's expected to open for full traffic at the end of the year. This year, it was launched by the President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Mama Samia Suluhu Hassan. Maybe let me ask Bakumba, how many bridges do we actually have in South Sudan between Nimule and Reng on the Nile? Do you know?
Wide.
Huh?
I think we only have that one freedom bridge. Kuburitan is it on the Nile?
Now there's the two in Juba, right? It's only the two.
Two in Juba. Those are the one in Juba. Why is the second one?
There's the other one built by the JICA, by Japanese international. Yeah.
I think they did renovate the same bridge. I believe it's only one bridge in Juba. Unless I'm wrong.
There's two now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
So I
okay.
guess it's only the two. But it
I'm
cost
lucky they
these
don't-
guys. Yeah, it cost these guys like what? $300 million.
which is
to-
very impressive. Actually.
Yeah, to put up that 3.2 kilometers long bridge. Ya yang kan gata-gata bridge dak wahid de ala ferisu firas bahari ni min ni mulelade. Beit inakma, we would be driving and having a good time.
No, but for that price, and then that's really good. That's good for Tanzania. That like even if you compare the bridges in North America here, the costs that are involved in building those bridges, man, is usually crazy. We're talking about they're building a bridge here just by a river in my city here. It's taken almost 3 years. It costs billions. You're talking about billions. Not 300,000. Not 300 million. This one is already billion. So that's really good for Tanzania. 3 kilometers plus, man. That's a massive project. And with that cost, that shows that Tanzania has really rained down on their corruption. They really rained down on their corruption like crazy. Yeah.
And thanks to Magufuli, right?
Of course.
And a lot of the funding actually was raised locally with a little international support. But they've really done well for themselves, and that's why you can see the Tanzanian economy is really, really doing well. And it shows off in things like sports, in things like people building planes that they can sell. You know, even their music. Now Tanzanian music is everywhere. So if people have money in their pocket, they can afford to go watch Diamond in the stadium.
Exactly. Yeah. And the political stability too, right?
Political stability.
Political stability. Tanzania for a long time. I think since Nyerere or after Nyerere, when Zanzibar and mainland Tanzania united together to become the United Republic of Tanzania, they discovered that they have one problem. The problem is religion. Religion is an issue there because most of the people in Zanzibar are Swahili, Arabic, mostly Muslims, right? And then on the mainland, they are Africans and a majority Christian. So if you follow the CCM party structure, if the president is from Zanzibar or if the president is a Muslim, the vice has to be from mainland. It has always been like that throughout. That's why Magufuli was the president and Mama Samia was the vice president, is a Muslim. The vice is from so they figure out the solution for all African problems when people discover what their problem is. And political stability brings obviously economic development. CCM has its own issues there. There's no too much freedom of speech, but the party is very, very strong. So that's the only thing I wanted to add on that part too. So maybe Junubin, we need to figure out what our problem is, then we solve it.
Well, Mwalimu Nyerere also did a lot to kind of chop down the big monster of tribalism, right?
Absolutely.
So and that did a lot. So he put in a good foundation in Tanzania, and it bears fruits like that. So Lenna, we really need to work on this thing called violence, and tribalism and corruption and whatnot will be on the way. Dennis, your take?
I think Tanzania has started to shine in the last 10 years. There is a lot of good things about Tanzania that are coming out. We have seen, like you have said, in terms of the sport, in terms of music, there is a lot of good stories coming out of Tanzania. But I think, like before, corruption was a norm in Australia. In Tanzania. I used to wonder, like, Tanzania has never been in a civil war. Why can it develop? But the main issue was corruption. There was the corruption. The corruption index was very high. So I think Magufuli has worked hard in bringing the level of corruption down. People are accountable, and people know what they are doing, and they start to develop. I'm not really surprised to hear that now they can come up with this bridge, and now they can launch a new brand of aeroplane. So those are really good stories. So I will see, like I can see that the problem of Africa, one of the biggest problem is corruption.
Yeah.
If people can find a way to reduce the level, because corruption cannot be reduced like to zero. Like there is corruption everywhere, but corruption in a way that is manageable. If we can come to that, then country can develop. Ana simit gal fi Rwanda there is zero corruption. Yeah, and
yeah, ma ita kansara gena you'll be in for it.
Kagame don't play.
Yeah, he doesn't play. Yeah, ana simit gal ito but the gurus le police berajala gurus and police will think and
No,
there is
my script ta Kagame is from Singapore. You know what the Lee did with the corrupt ministers? Firing squad, all of them. And from that time, Singapore went from third world to first world.
Death sentence.
Yeah.
I think China is
the same.
China, Vietnam, they're all corruption is if you're corrupt, you're sentenced to death.
Yeah.
So they don't tolerate corruption.
They don't tolerate that kind of nonsense.
Yeah. So inshallah.
Kana mulu kalam tu South Sudan na mar back del mono corruption by firing.
Yeah. They tegil as well. They tegil. All right. Now you're getting into dangerous territory. If you don't behave, Sot, Jelda, Sukun. This week, let's ask Bakumba. Bakumba, tabijala dumono this week.
This week, I'm gonna show you the video. There's a viral video that I bumped into, and it's just a prank, a prank video. And it just made a joke, but the prank turned to be a bad prank to the boy child. So the video there is data on guy. The wife of this guy is trying to prank the husband. Her and the daughter already organized to prank the husband that she's getting shot, and she's basically trying to test the husband whether when he's only back there protect war in the time of her need. So they go married in that situation where she's pleading with the shooter who is the daughter with the balloon. So when the balloon went off, wallahi, the guy took off. Zolde jere haro even faster than Usain Bolt. So so this guy, man, we're supposed to be protectors, man. We're supposed to be the leaders of the household. Zolde embarrass the boy child. It's an embarrassment to the boy child. That is the reason why they go short. No more. This is not how a man supposed to behave. You're supposed to take the bullet for your woman. You take a bullet for your woman, not to run away like an idiot. So that you sort. so that they can learn something. You need to take a bullet for your woman, and that's what we are born to do. Protectors, providers of the woman. That is exactly why we are here. Yeah. We're sorry on behalf of that guy. Like it's only the Dugu.
Zole is a poor excuse for men.
What excuse?
Yeah. He does not represent us.
No.
So now, when you hear that sound, you know it's Beyond the Beats. This week, Dennis will take us beyond the beat, and we'll be talking the decline of the Congolese music industry in Africa. We used to hear of the Congolese, the TPOK jazz, the Sukus, the Kanda Bongo man, the Wenge Musikas. But when I'm talking like that, all these Gen Z people out there will be like, who are you talking about again?
Yeah, so for the Congolese music, like what Dedi has been saying, now if you go to the party, you will rarely hear Congolese music, and people are wondering what happened to Congolese music. Congo used to be the hub of African music, And in fact, African music was synonymous with Congolese music. When you hear Congolese music, people think that it is an African music. But what happened to Congolese music? Congolese music just kind of is on the continuous decline. There is no, of course, there are other artists that are making headway, like Feli Upupa, Fere Gola, and then Franco Tamanka de Jazz Shue. Franco wala Kofi ka de Jazz Shue, lakini yani who much tegi lakini wala daraja tak. Like yani people are wondering what happened to Congolese music. I have come up with a few reasons here. The first reason that I see is political instability and lack of government support. So Congolese music was government sponsored all this time. And as Franco, you can see that Franco has a very good relationship with Maputo until they fell out. But music was state sponsored. طبعا Maputo كان ترى بسياسة بيقولوا authenticity. I'm not a French speaker, but meaning authentic. People have to be authentic to their roots. طبعا Maputo كان اسمه Joseph. He changed his name to Maputo Siseko. And then there was a lot of cultural movement. People have to be authentic. That's where people came up with the Congolese dress and stuff like that. And then he promoted music. And who can Mazol Battalion, though he was a dictator, but he did a lot in the cultural arena to bring Congolese music up. And what happened is when Mobutu was taken off, Kabila came, he wasn't sponsoring any music. A lot of Congolese music, a lot of them migrated. Like you can only produce music only if you are in Paris. And a lot of Congolese music, they cannot afford to go in Paris to produce music. So most of them end up not doing a lot of good music. The second reason I see also is language barrier. Language barrier to Congolese music is, of course, we listen to melodies, but in this modern world, people need to understand your lyrics so that they can kind of listen to your music. So most of Congolese, they sing in Lingala, they sing in French. French, of course, is an international language, but it's not as English. People listen to English in most of the songs that they listen to. Another thing that I have seen with the Congolese music is poor music video. If you compare Congolese music to Nigerian music, you see that there is a big difference. Like Nigerian music is like a high definition quality kind of a music. Zol guide Fibe, Shinak, Bana, Dela, and stuff like that. And it is digitally compared to Congolese music, you see that it's just, although music can be good, but it doesn't match the video that is being produced. And also, I see also the lack of strategic collaboration. This is what Nigerians have succeeded at. Nigerian, they convince big artists like Nugul Icon, and then go up to come down to Munamalu, Ariana.
Selena Gomez.
Yes, Selena Gomez. And it became a big hit. Like now you go to any gym in North America, you hear the song. It is a big hit. So they have, like Congolese, they don't have that ability for strategic collaboration. And finally, I see that here, Congolese are not people who follow trend, and now that they stick to rumba. People have moved from rumba, and now people are into trend like amapiano, Afrobeats. But Congolese, they stick to this rumba music, and they are not able to, because if you don't evolve, you dissolve, right? So there are many reasons, but those are the obvious sign that I can see. It is it's just a pity, like, to see that Congolese music has gone down. But despite that, though Nigerian has gone up, but you see that Congolese still are good at live performance. Most of the music that we see now are not live performance. People just lip singing, and then the music is being pre-recorded. But Congolese music are good at live performance until now. So those are the still good things that about Congolese music. But in terms of the trend, in some of the decline, they are on the continuous decline, so to speak. Yeah.
Yazol.
Let's go to another story from Africa. Zimbabwe, where a married woman in Harare identified as Melosia Gwata approached a court to seek legal protection from her husband, one George Kusotera, over his excessive demand for intimacy. Gwata revealed her ordeal to the Harare Civil Court, describing her husband coercing her into playing mommy-daddy games up to 8 times per night, resorting to violence whenever she refused to give in to his demands. The matter came before Magistrate Judith Taruvinga at the Harare Civil Court, where the plaintiff disclosed that her husband had been making all those excessive demands, waking her up in the middle of the night after multiple encounters that same day. The excessive hanky-panky has taken a great toll on her physical and mental health. So she explained that she would no longer endure these demands because of fatigue and physical pain. So, and then sometimes the husband, of course, would assault her when he's not getting his thing. So, because every time she rejects his advances, he would abuse her. So in response, of course, the court granted her a protection order from the husband and to ensure her safety. Dennis, de Jerima Jahes.
Wala di Jerima
Jeg de derakulu too much la di mara de magder suta sida kifaya.
Yeah, so Fina sindu appetite and very large appetite.
Zol magi sabane.
Yeah, Fina sindu very big appetite. But I think if it is somebody that you love and it is something that it is between you and your partner to discuss, to see how much, like you negotiate how much they're able to accept and how much you are able to give up, But if it comes to the case that you just force yourself, I think it's not a good relationship. Then it kind of turn into territory of abuse, and that's not good for relationship. And that's why I can understand why this woman take this man to the court. In the Alberta, I think in 2007, it became one of the law. يعني ممنوع تطور زول من نوم زول partner بتاعتك نام ونام ما في حاجة لأنه تعمل تطور زول من نوم unless it is unless it is consensual. Okay. But طبعا Indian of Africa is in مفهوم بتاعتنا is totally different in terms of marriage. لأنه you don't consider it is your partner, you consider it is your property. And this is where a big problem قاعد يحصل لنا. لأنه you see yourself مرة ده I paid a lot of money and أنا دفعت قروش كتير and whatever I want I should be getting it and I should get it now. Yeah. And that's not how relationship works. It is a partnership and everybody have different role. And if there is anything in terms of the intimate part, like it should be something that need to be discussed. Ita kan inda large appetite and marada kan gali no, that's not what. Then maybe relationship have been terminated from the get-go.
I'm trying to be a peacemaker and a problem solver here.
Yes.
Malo Mara the African way and secure the second helper. Bakumba, what do you think? Yeah. Number 2, number 3. Kan mungkulu mag at least tabakulu ini tabakulu nak tamaburak demi result sake.
Yeah, but so I think they can become maybe they become one of the solutions, but I don't think it solves everything because the way narrated the story, I think it's apart from the intimacy, there is that sense of control. All day and I'm the man. All there There's something.
Yes.
There's something in it that there's an element of abuse before going in, the element of control before going in. So Salah can only got a lot of Arba, you do exactly the same.
Yeah.
Control and control and control. So
Yeah.
this guy definitely has issues that you need to deal with, or the issues between Bara. But that doesn't. It's not about. It's not only the men, by the way. And I read a lot of stories there about people on the bedroom matters. Finish not the name Gere Kaman.
Yeah.
And you big and so cool. So it's both ways. Both genders. There are not exceptional cases.
Yeah.
And the extreme of the other one. So
Yeah.
people need to be careful.
So أنا كان بشوف إنه كيس كلام شنو ده قالوا ديدي قالوا
Yeah.
if there was a suggestion to get a second wife, I don't think that problem would have ended up in court. As in
Well,
they can.
I actually don't know because I guess because it seems this is a very traditional family in a way, right? They are not a modern African family.
That's right.
Because to the modern African woman, if you do it the first time, the second time she'll be like, I'm done with you. It will not even go, because this lady is looking for protection from the court.
That's right.
If it's the modern African woman should outright say no, it's done. Done. Yeah.
So I don't think she has a voice then in the relationship. That's why maybe she's seeking protection from outside.
Yeah. And then of course there's the traditional thing to Africa algala. Itendo mushkila marajil take tabijere fibet birijata lisa wara.
Birijaweta. Akwana jale ya gedi muita kama.
Yeah.
So maybe the woman got tired. She just went to she decided I'm just go to the modern legal system instead of traditional justice.
Yeah. Dennis, would you have thought of technology? Maybe if the two of them discussed and they look for technological AI help?
Well, I have a lot of reservation about
technology, right?
Technology. There is a lot of stories.
Okay.
There is a lot of stories in there. Ana Simit in the Alberta,
Yeah.
So what happened is it is about the Filipino couple.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the couple was still in the Philippines, and then the woman was working here in Canada.
Okay.
So the husband suggests to the wife here to use some of the technology to protect himself, protect herself in case she's in need.
Right.
So all this time she was helping herself.
Yeah.
Until the husband. Yeah, technologically. Until the husband came. So when the husband came,
ethically.
Some of the work the husband was doing was not enough. So
so
the lady want to bring the technology. So the wife want to bring the technology in the relationship, and then the husband start to complain like, what is going on with you? I'm here. Why do you want to do that?
Yajibu remso rajid daro tani fi bet yajibu bara.
Itara jibu tim samin jo korfi jo bet.
The second nine.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I'm very against. I'm very conservative about using those things. It's not natural, and it doesn't. I don't know where as a human being, we are heading with all those technology.
Yeah. Mushkila ta bija jibu abuba fi bet zato bija shilu technology de bada su tumo asida.
Give later asida bitaribeta.
Yeah. It's good to be careful.
Ama jena bro ni go ajede bijere dadi geda ino ajede.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dedi, I have kind of a story about that.
Yeah.
So there was couple. Woman gani rahal, and then Rajal got the shell pashatu kita, and then Zamalu got the shell corton. Something fell from
men corton. Yeah.
Rajil Lion, Kidagar, what is this Maragalogar? What do you think it is? Girl, you are busy. Itagatala abdomina, you are here with your friend.
Yeah.
You come like in the like in the early morning, you don't care about me. I eat a sakran all the time. What do you think I should do?
I'm in the feelings.
Yeah.
You answer me, what do you think I should do?
Wow.
She'll be there to Kortona and you hold Barras and
Yeah. Zol de marasa logal kalere jamal to wara.
Mara de time in Zorle. You're not doing anything, and what do you expect of me? She'll be there to Korton there, la she'll go to Arabia Barlano. The car is waiting.
Yeah.
We need to
technology is a danger to humanity, so we should totally ban it. Yeah. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of this episode. Of course, thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you again next Sunday at 8 p.m. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Yazol TV. And follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on WhatsApp. Find the links to all our social media handles in the description of this video. And tell a friend to tell a friend. Of course, thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Bakumba. And may God bless South Sudan.